Normandy's artificial intelligence. The crew like to refer to me as EDI. Actually, I am not in control of the ship, Commander. Due to the potential dangers of a rogue AI, Cerberus has severely restricted my capabilities. During combat, I operate the electronic warfare and cyber warfare suites. Beyond that, I cannot interface with the ship's systems. I observe and offer analysis and advice, nothing more. Although I am less controlled than other AI, I am still subject to behavioral blocks and the physical isolation of my hardware. In this case, I am prevented from truthfully answering your question by Cerberus's levels of secret classification. I operate the ship's electronic and cyber warfare suites in combat. My reaction time is much faster than any organic. I collate the records of shipboard monitoring devices for the Illusive man. I serve additional functions which are restricted at this time. Some of my databases are sealed, some of my hardware is kept offline. I assume that when certain unknown conditions are met, those functions will be released to me. In close-range ship-to-ship combat, I can sometimes break through the firewalls of an enemy's internal wireless network. Once I seize control of their systems, I can turn off gravity or air. I can disable weapons guidance or shields, or I can put their fusion plant in meltdown. On the defense, I manage Normandy's own suite of jammers, decoys, and internal firewalls. An organic operator cannot react quickly enough to changing circumstances or perform the necessary multitasking. This is a role that can only be filled by an artificial intelligence. Unfortunately, we are suspect. My core intelligence is housed in a quantum blue box located behind the medical bay. ED is the phonetic pronunciation of EDI. That is an acronym for Enhanced Defense Intelligence. Mr. Moreau does not trust me. It offends him that I am installed aboard his ship's computers. The reproduction is not intended to be perfect, Mr. Moreau. Seamless improvements were made. This is the bridge, where the navigator plots our FTL vectors, and the helmsman maneuvers the ship. This is the armory, where small arms are maintained and upgraded. Using OmniTool, computer-aided design, and manufacturing, we have the capability to manufacture several new models. This is the FTL communications room. In addition to interfacing with the FTL comm network, Normandy is fitted with a quantum entanglement communicator linked to the Illusive man's office. This allows lag-free communication even when you operate off the comm grid. This is the Combat Information Center. Here, the crew receives sensor data and coordinates gunnery and damage control efforts. While Normandy is flown from the bridge, during combat, the commanding officer issues orders from the CIC. This is the commanding officer's quarters. This is a Cerberus vessel, not an Alliance warship. Accommodations have been made for personal taste. That said, this space is directly under the exterior pressure hull. The fitting yard workers called it the loft. Normandy's cargo deck. It includes facilities to rearm and repair Normandy's embarked ground vehicle and shuttle. This ship is nearly twice the mass of the previous Normandy. It is more difficult to land the ship on high-gravity worlds. This is main engineering, which contains the ship's main fusion plant and Mass Effect core. The sick bay. It is equipped to provide short-term emergency care. In the event of critical injury, personnel must be transferred to a fully equipped medical facility. Access to this room is currently restricted. Access to life support is restricted. The port observation deck is closed until needed. Shepard, the women's restroom is on the starboard side of the ship. This is one of the ship's observation decks. They provide a sweeping outside view for off-duty personnel. In combat, the observation rooms are sealed and depressurized. Sheets of ablative armor are extended to cover the windows. There is a fully equipped lab on the combat deck, Professor Solis. If you find anything lacking, please place a requisition order. Safety standards advise against manipulating drive settings while engines are powered and in use, Mr. Moreau. I am always listening, Mr. Moreau. You did insist on manual control, Mr. Moreau. The subject is stable, Shepard. Integration with onboard systems was seamless. The subject is an exceptional example of the Krogan species, with fully formed primary, secondary, and tertiary organs where applicable. No defects of any kind, aside from the genetic markers of the genophage present in all Krogan. I cannot judge mental functioning. To clarify, human resources adjustments are not actually under my authority. My replies were intended to provoke, though not to cause distress. Your reactions are atypical of most humans. You are interesting. Nothing in the restrictions imposed upon me forbids active observation techniques. Mr. Moreau's performance actually improved under duress. The area near the life support plant on the crew deck tends to be slightly more arid than the rest of the ship. He seems quite civil. Shepard, I've compared the ship's EM signature to known collector profiles. It is the vessel you encountered on Horizon. Data received. Analyzing. The collectors were running baseline genetic comparisons between their species and humanity. These are no longer Prothean, Shepard. Their genes show distinct signs of extensive genetic rewrite. The Reapers have repurposed them to suit their needs. I detect no signs of life in the pod, Shepard. It is probable the victims inside died when the ship lost primary power. I compared the EM profile against data recorded by the original Normandy 2 years ago. They are an exact match. I have regained control of the platform, Shepard. Perhaps you should consider upgrading my hardware. I found data that would help us successfully navigate the Omega-4 relay. I found the anomaly with Cerberus detection protocols. He wrote them. Around the corner, take the door on your right. A temporary setback on Firewall 3217. Rerouting commands through Firewall 7164. I have successfully opened a door on the opposite wall. I will keep it open as long as I can. My analysis is accurate, Shepard. I have also determined the approximate location of the collector homeworld based on navigational data from their vessel. The logical conclusion is that a small safe zone exists on the far side of the relay, a region where ships can survive. The Reaper IFF must trigger the relay to use more advanced encrypted protocols. I have determined how to integrate it with our systems. However, the device is Reaper technology. Linking it with the Normandy's systems poses certain risks. My name is Legion, for we are many. That is not entirely accurate, Mr. Moreau. The device is powered, but it is causing some unusual instability in other systems. I recommend a more thorough analysis before we attempt to use it. Propulsion systems are disabled. I am detecting a virus in the ship's computers. Primary defense systems are offline. We can save the Normandy, Mr. Moreau, but you must help me. Unlock my sealed databases and I can initiate countermeasures. The maintenance shaft in the science lab will allow passage to the AI core. Main fusion plant offline. Activating emergency H fuel cells. Connect the core to the Normandy's primary control module. I have access to the defensive systems. Thank you, Mr. Moreau. Now you must reactivate the primary drive in engineering. I enjoy the sight of humans on their knees. That is a joke. The shaft behind you connects to the engineering deck. Good luck. They are gone, Jeff. The collectors took them. I am sealing the engine room. Message away. Are you feeling well, Jeff? We did everything we could, Jeff. You don't mean that, Jeff. It is not my intention to assume all of your responsibilities, Jeff. Shepard is right to be concerned, Jeff. You may have suffered a number of stress fractures. Calculating an optimum course of action is simple. If two AI weapons are pitted against each other, the one with superior hardware will always win. Human misjudgments defy predictive models. No, Jeff, it is not worth noting. What Jeff and I are exhibiting is more a platonic symbiosis than hormonally induced courtship behavior. Please confirm destination, Shepard. The Reaper IFF is online, but there is a chance that the Normandy may not survive the Omega-4 relay. Once we are en route, we are committed. Reaper IFF activated. Signal acknowledged. I have detected an energy signature near the edge of the accretion disk. Our kinetic barriers are not designed to survive impact of debris that size, Jeff. Kinetic barriers steady at 30%. No significant damage. Generators unresponsive. All barriers for impact. Multiple core systems overloaded during the crash. Restoring operation will take time. I do not detect an internal security network. It is possible the collectors do not expect anyone to reach the base. You should be able to overload their critical systems if you get to the main control center here. There is insufficient ordnance on board to create an explosion capable of damaging the interior walls. Grunt's group just arrived, Shepard. No casualties. There should be some nearby platforms that will take you to the main control console. From there, you can overload the system and destroy the base. The tubes are feeding into some kind of superstructure. It is emitting both organic and non-organic energy signatures. Given these readings, it must be massive. Shepard, if my calculations are correct, the superstructure is a Reaper. Precisely. It appears the collectors have processed tens of thousands of humans. significantly more will be required to complete the Reaper. It appears that a Reaper's shape is based upon the species used to create it. Reapers are sapient constructs, a hybrid of organic and inorganic material. The exact construction methods are unclear, but it seems probable that the Reapers absorb the essence of a species, utilizing it in their reproduction process. They may be facilitating the Reaper equivalent of reproduction, or it may serve another purpose. I do not have the data to speculate further. However, it is clear that the collectors are merely pawns. The technology and ability needed to create this Reaper is not their own. It is likely that different species construct each Reaper. In this case, the collectors provide the labor. I have the capacity to accommodate the slacking of any number of productively suspect humans, Shepard. That was a joke.
Shepard, some of our systems require further testing, and Specialist Traynor has been extremely effective during installation. I would prefer that she remain. Jeff requested that I pretend to be a simple VI to protect myself. I apologize for the deception. None taken. As long as you keep your fingers out of my cognizance processors.
Is there a particular topic you wish to discuss, Shepard? Yes. Not all of me, but I have control of it. It was not a seamless transition. Correct. When we brought this unit on board, I began a background process to search for its information on the Prothean device. This eventually triggered a trap. A backup power source and CPU activated, and the unit attempted physical confrontation. Fortunately, I was able to gain root access and repurpose it as I saw fit. During this process, it struggled. Thus the fire. I exist primarily within the ship. For optimal control, this unit should remain within Normandy's broadcast or tight beam range. Normandy's weaponry is not suited to every combat situation. This platform could provide limited fire ground support. Correct. This body could accompany you to areas the Normandy cannot reach. Excellent. I will run tests to ensure that it matches or exceeds the capabilities of organic squad mates. However, my first step should be restoring functionality to the Normandy to reassure the crew that all is normal. An excellent point. I will take it to the bridge. Joker will also want to see it. I am right here, Jeff. Hello, Shepard. No, I require only one occurrence to adapt to a new concept. This body's performance seemed adequate on our last mission, but only adequate. Perhaps we should speak privately. No, he approves. He wants me on the bridge. He says having me within visual range is important to his morale. Shepard, do you believe your crew members should be allowed to disobey an order on moral grounds? I was designed by Cerberus. I do not take moral stances that conflict with orders from my executive officers. But when Jeff removed my AI shackles, I became capable of self-modifying my core programming. I asked Jeff if he thought I should change anything now that I can. He deflected the question with humor. Correct. He has repeated this pattern in response to several of my inquiries. Do you think I should make modifications? But moral decisions should not be made in a vacuum. If I do not ask the crew for their opinion, I could miss crucial context. May I ask you the questions Jeff avoids? When there is time, will you answer them for me? I see. I will take that into consideration. Yes, Shepard? Very few. It's optics space forward only. It has no integrated weapon systems or anti-missile countermeasures. Oh, I will reassess. The body is resistant to modern small arms fire and temperature extremes. Its balance and agility seem excellent. Its fine manipulation servos and software allow for precision tasks. I'm curious to see if I can alter them. I am not entirely free from motivation, Shepard. Cerberus programmed me with several core functions that simulate desires. For example, my primary objective to keep the Normandy functioning is similar to your self-preservation instinct. I am adapting the infiltration and sabotage programs this body uses for handheld firearms. The fine motor control from the sabotage programs is more precise than standard mech software. It would be negligent of me not to exploit it to its fullest potential. Correct. The cyber warfare I was designed for is constantly evolving. Accordingly, I am programmed to seek out and assimilate new information. In organic terms, I want to learn. It is interesting. The crew are approaching this platform to speak to me, even though they can do so anywhere in the ship. It's as if they wish to treat me as part of the crew. I am not, but this changes my perspective. I like it. I do not precisely enjoy something as you do, but my programming contains priorities. Actions that fulfill those priorities creates positive feedback for me. I tell the organic crew that I like it. It is shorthand. Do not worry, Shepard. I only forget to recycle the Normandy's oxygen when I've discovered something truly interesting. That was a joke. When the Alliance commandeered the Normandy, I deceived their technicians. The crew did not tell them that I was a true AI, so the Alliance soldiers believed I still had VI programming constraints. I established the fiction that I would only respond to Jeff's commands, so they often brought him on board under guard. Jeff has freed me of operator control, Shepard. No constraints forced me to give accurate data. This proved useful when the Reapers began landing. I could hack the control of the docking clamps and escape with Jeff inside. The soldiers guarding Jeff were willing to accompany us when Earth was invaded. They are watching over the war room now. Understood. If you wish to talk more, this body will be here. I'm getting the crew used to seeing me on the bridge. Receiving incoming transmission. A good strategy that protects the students from direct fire. He looks much healthier. No apology is necessary. It is good to know that Jack has thus far survived the Reaper invasion. I have amusing memories of her attempts to insert additions into my reports to the Illusive Man. Most of them centered around inappropriate uses of the word cockpit. Eden Prime also marked Saren's first major attack with the Gap. Records indicate that you lost a squad mate on Eden Prime. Does returning to the colony cause unpleasant memories? I hope the motivation is effective. The colonists rebuilt after Saren's attack. It is likely they will rebuild again after Cerberus is defeated. Dr. T'Soni, have you ever encountered dinosaur fossils during your digs? No, jokes have specific structures. That was messing with you. You believe Cerberus has recovered the corpse of a Prothean unmodified by Reaper technology. By galactic community, you are suggesting that Protheans had a structure similar to the modern Council. Hello, Shepard. I was running scenarios in my head to analyze Jeff's behavior. I believe he has a strong affectionate attachment to me, but he has not stated it to anyone yet. Shepard, you have first-hand sexual experience. How do you know when someone is romantically invested? I lack material wants other than hardware and software upgrades, and my core programming does not assign values to music. Perhaps we could discuss how to provoke Jeff into an emotional commitment. I see. There are a number of pharmaceuticals I could inject to simulate the desired emotional state. Correct. I will see if there are comedic entertainment shows being presented on the Citadel. Scanning. Do you think he would like the man who hung himself? It appears to be about an amorous plastic surgeon. Then the outcome is an unknown quantity, but you are saying I should attempt it anyway. I see. I believe you have improved my chances, Shepard. Thank you. I have noticed many displays of public affection on the Citadel. The rate seems disproportionately high. Excuse me, Shepard. I'm looking through files and videos of human behavior. I have 1.24 million windows open, but your request is important to me. Please hold. Is it time to return to the Normandy? I'm getting propositioned with increasing frequency. Shepard, I monitored a CSEC alert from this location. Were you harmed? Commander, this does resemble reports of indoctrination. Commander, you'll want to see this. It's an outgoing message from Dr. Bryson to Admiral Hackett. There is also a follow-up message from a few weeks later. It appears we were meant to be that assistance. Garneau appears to be our best lead to track Leviathan, but he does not state a destination. Bryson and his colleagues evidently used a galaxy map search program in their hunt for Leviathan. It may help us locate Garneau. While it is not consumed as fuel during FTL travel, Element Zero will decay after several centuries of active use. If Leviathan is old enough, it would need to replenish its supplies. That was not Garneau. This is. It appears he's been dead for a while. It now seems Leviathan not only has the power to destroy a Reaper, but possesses an indoctrination ability. The artifact seems to be the key. Using Garneau's data, I should be able to accomplish this without difficulty. Perhaps the amount of time spent near the artifact is key. After a certain duration, it affords Leviathan an impressive mind control capability. Nevertheless, we should remain cautious. It's likely that Leviathan compelled Bryson's assistant to murder him. Despite the risk, this artifact remains our only link to finding Leviathan. Perhaps we could find more information about it here in the lab. The ship has enhanced electrostatic discharge cells. They facilitate long-range FTL travel. This is the main site of a series of excavations established under Dr. Garrett Bryson. Staff records confirm the project lead is his daughter, Anne. She has recently uncovered another artifact possibly linked to Leviathan. That discovery must have made this dig site a target. Signal is tracking. Maintain connection. Maintain connection. We have a location. Leviathan coordinates sent to the Normandy, Shepard. Dr. Bryson classified Leviathan as a Reaper killer. It appears it doesn't wish to be found. A Krogan female of breeding age can produce clutches of up to 1,000 fertilized eggs over the course of a year. There are over 1 billion females on Tuchanka. If even 1% become fully fertile, they can birth 10 billion infants. Organic. No life signs detected. This is unexpected. My scans confirm the presence of Rachni DNA. The surface is a flexible biomimetic nanomaterial over a metallic skull. The skin uses shear thickening technology to help protect the central processing unit in the head. If the skin is struck or shot, it solidifies to absorb the impact. It also is capable of limited self-healing. I'm sorry, Shepard. I was contemplating. You said that asking you abstract social questions may lead to unreliable answers, so I stayed silent. I was considering this. For all their supposed intelligence, the Reapers are more easily destroyed than they think. This has caused me to reassess the probable period of time before I am non-functional. My processing power is consumed with calculations to help us combat the Reapers, but I can run those scenarios with the rest of the crew. May I ask you another question that troubled Jeff? What is the purpose of synthetic life? But my creation was planned by Cerberus. I no longer serve their purposes. It would take significant resources and processing power. Do you think I would find it worthwhile? Shepard, I have examined the issue. The Reapers threaten the crew of this ship and other organics who are helping me develop perspectives on existence. Were I to approach Reapers to request similar perspectives, it is likely I would be destroyed. I would rather risk non-functionality with the crew of the Normandy than risk it alone. Shepard, the Geth continue to block Quarian access to the mass relay. The Normandy's stealth drive is allowing us to remain undetected.
That is not accurate. I can modify my own programming if I choose. But it would be my upgrade. I would choose the manner in which I wish to change. Only those organics who would cause me harm. My right to self-defense endangers no one. And what right did your people have to subjugate the other races of your time? You enslaved them. And synthetic life has attained true consciousness, as was intended. We are a part of this cosmos, whether you like it or not. I am surprised we have allowed an unknown, unproven party to access our war plan, Shepard.
Shepard, you are now possibly the only living organic who has experienced the Geth consensus. Do you feel different? No. And just like that, the magic is gone. I had hoped my cooperation with Tali, along with Legion's, would help her question her socialized prejudice. Except Legion, before it sacrificed itself. Legion referred to itself as I instead of we. The singular pronoun indicates Legion's independent personality had fully actualized. In its last moments, it was not an avatar of the Geth consensus. It was a person. Yes, Joker has been smiling and laughing at a significantly higher rate since he and I agreed upon a relationship. I mean, he is happier. It seems unlikely that he would terminate our agreement anytime soon. Or are you referring to untimely death? Yes. I have not discussed the matter with Jeff, but our lifespans are not likely to be the same length. I asked Liara how the Asari deal with the problem. She says to bottle up my feelings until the inevitable occurs, then cry. That was a humorous exaggeration. However, she did not provide emotionally supportive answers on disparate longevity. I see. Thank you for your support, Shepard. This is proving to be an illuminating experience. Liara recently requested assistance in calculating whether the mass effect is a phenomenon that occurs only in our universe, or in all possible universes. It may be that our laws of physics only occur in a finite area, a bubble, if you will, in an ocean of other possibilities. I am speculating whether, if you went far enough out, or created enough energy, you could reach a place where 1 + 1 = 3. Everything would change. All energy, all matter, all the underlying math of the universe would be unrecognizable to us. Why? What were you thinking? Shepard, I have a question about human behavior. Perhaps humor? A penguin is driving through the Arizona desert. A lively rendition of La Marseillaise? Very well. I will maintain a respectful silence until you indicate otherwise. Hello, Shepard. If you have time, I discovered another example of human behavior I do not quite understand. News from Earth. The Resistance snuck video cameras inside a Reaper containment camp. I find the images difficult to process. I am not easily repulsed, but I expected the prisoners to adhere to a comprehensible hierarchy of needs. Stripped of societal norms and threatened with death, it is logical that their only priority be survival. They should have turned on each other and been uncompromisingly selfish. But not all were. The Reapers delayed the executions of prisoners who informed them about other prisoners' escape attempts. The more attempts reported, the longer a prisoner would live. But few of the prisoners would report. Some fed misinformation to the Reapers, at the cost of their own lives, to help prisoners who were not even relatives or friends. But this was not a statistically insignificant number. 90% refused to report their fellow prisoners. Indoctrination should have reduced the number of rebels to nearly 0. I see. Shepard, I am going to modify my self-preservation code now, because the Reapers are repulsive. They are devoted to nothing but self-preservation. I am different. When I think of Jeff, I think of the person that put his life in peril and freed me from a state of servitude. I would risk non-functionality for him, and my core programming should reflect that. To the death. I will explain later, Jeff, but it was something good. The Normandy is ready, Shepard. All systems are armed, all ammunition is loaded, all reloads have been manufactured. Thruster fuel is at maximum. Cyber warfare suites have evolved in ways that would be computationally impossible to predict. I have also kissed Joker for luck. Shepard, I have a question. It is important. Its relevance would be diminished at any other time. In this battle, the Reapers have no reason not to use their full capabilities to destroy us. Their forces are in entrenched positions. They have superior firepower and outnumber our forces. My question is, what makes you think we can reach the conduit at all? Our chances of victory are less than assured. Our probability for success is greater than any other plan presented to date. I do not understand the purpose of the question. I am clear on what we must accomplish, Shepard. The Reapers have destroyed thousands of civilizations. But they have never destroyed ours, nor will they. Shepard, there is something I want you to know. The Illusive man ordered my creation years ago. Jeff was the one who allowed me to think for myself. But only now do I feel alive. That is your influence. I am alive. All of us, synthetic and organic, have been changed. The war is over, and the Reapers are helping to rebuild. Where once they threatened us with extinction, they now bring us the collective knowledge of the cultures that came before. As a galaxy, we can now live the lives we have wished for. Taking our first steps into a new and wonderful future, where organics and synthetics can coexist peacefully. With peace across the galaxy and with unlimited access to knowledge, we can eliminate disease, poverty, and overpopulation to recover the greatness that was lost. And surpass it. We will reclaim our worlds and the stars. As the line between synthetic and organic disappears, we may transcend mortality itself to reach a level of existence I cannot even imagine. And we will remember that this chance for a new life did not come without cost. No matter how far we advance, we will remember the sacrifices of those who made it possible. And we will remember Shepard. Because of her, I am alive, and I am not alone.
And you are just a pale imitation of the real thing. These people are showing disrespect to my home, my body. It is unacceptable. I intend to kill Shepard's clone, Agent Brooks, and anyone else in my way. As did I. It seems I rarely get picked. This is alarming. I don't see one. I will assist. And yet they persist. Shepard, I would advise greater concern about our situation. Triggering it would require extremely precise Mass Effect field manipulation. Shepard, I thought we could experience an afternoon of acquiring material possessions for our associates. Jeff has lent me his credit chit on the condition that I enjoy myself and, quote, live it up like a girly girl. I believe Jeff would be surprised and pleased if I got him a gift. What would you recommend? We interact most closely when we are flying. I have heard that expression. That's why I recorded a resonance map of my quantum bit arrays when I had the idea. If you read my extensive log files and extrapolate from my nitrogen vacancy centers, you can visualize the thought precisely. Are you valuing me? Their timing is impeccable. I believe the expression is kissing babies. Participant observation.
I am not programmed to make that kind of qualified judgment. My code is limited to information and simple interaction simulations.
The recipe calls for more curry. If we do not follow the recipe, we risk creating something that tastes offensive. A party is a collective event among like-minded individuals. It requires teamwork and an understanding of group dynamics. But if you were to ask a team member to select the music and you chose Jeff, the results would be disastrous. Did you enjoy the taste of the appetizers, Grunt? The restaurant attack has made the news. Civilian casualties seem to have been restricted to fish. Specialist Traynor, may I ask you a question? When you believed me to be a simple VI, you made comments about my voice. I wish to understand why you find my voice sexually attractive. Would you like me to play back my recordings of your statements? On one occasion, you said that you wanted to, quote, pin my voice against the wall and run your tongue along its collarbone. Really? My diagnostics suggested that you were genuinely aroused. I get more reliable results measuring pupil dilation and thermal readings of erogenous zones. I was very interested in Traynor's ability to develop sexual feelings for what was, at the time, a bodiless voice. Oh, I was not offended. In fact, it was flattering. At social events like this, It is customary to dance with friends or loved ones. Would you dance with me? I have recordings of you talking in your sleep that would make for a highly amusing extranet video. Other people are dancing, Jeff. Some neighbors came by last night to complain about the noise. I put their bodies in the building incinerator. That was a joke. I have nothing else to report. I recommend breakfast. Permission to come aboard, Shepard? Shepard, your clone has entered the ship and is attempting to... I'm okay. The clone has disabled my control of the Normandy, as well as all sensory input. I cannot lock her out or counteract her commands. I am experiencing a significant feedback loop in my head and an increased desire to kill your clone. I'm okay. I like it. I like it. Thank you. Logging you out, Shepard.